Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. We are so happy to have you join us today. Hello to our Facebook viewers, our YouTube viewers, and to our new veryparanormal.com family. We're so excited to have you guys with us, and we can't wait to see more of you. Today, we have an amazing show that we're going to get to in a few minutes. But before we get there, we would like to ask you to please take a moment to share this out. Share it with your friends, invite your friends in, share it out in groups that you know maybe fans of this kind of conversation, because we're going to be talking about some pretty cool stuff today, energy and some very, very cool psychic and medium stuff. So very excited about that. If you share this out, we have a contest that we do every week. So whenever you share out the most, whoever shares out the most will get a chance to win with one of us. And this week, whoever shares out the most will win with Teresa. You get a mini healing session reading with Teresa. So you don't want to miss your chance for that. Whoever went out, or whoever shared out the most last week won with me. And so we're going to announce that at the end of today's show. So you've got to stay tuned and find out if you won. So without further ado, Rhonda, please introduce our guest.
Hello, I am just going to do a little fangirling here because I've watched Jackie for years on, that sounds odd, years. She's been so successful on television in Canada. Anyways, Jackie Dennison, she's one of the rescue mediums, the host of the rescue mediums. And I've watched her show for years. My family's watched it. We've always been enjoyed it. And so when we happened to see her come up again, something, I don't know what twigged. I think she actually liked our page, which I thought was amazing. I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to reach out and ask her to join us. And she did. She said yes. I was so excited. And I just wanted to let you know very quickly that Jackie is an international clairvoyant, medium, psychic artist, tutor, and past life regression therapist. She does so much all the time. She has established veryparanormal.com. She has Feathers Academy, where it's a training of all sorts of psychic abilities. She does all sorts of things besides her rescue medium work, which she is probably the most famous for here in Canada. So please welcome Jackie Dennison. And what I'd like to know, Jackie, first off, is how you came to be where you are now, sort of your origin story. Have you always been like this? And welcome to our show.
Thank you for asking me. Yeah, I was born weird, I think. When you're a child, you talk to imaginary friends and things. You know, most of us talk to imaginary friends. We don't always remember it when we get a little bit older, you know, and mum or dad or auntie or grandma would have said, oh, yeah, do you remember when you used to talk to so-and-so over there? So that happened to me when I was about 8, is my earliest memory, really, when I bent down to stroke a little dog. And my friend said, what are you doing? I said, I'm stroking this little dog. And she was pretty freaked out because she couldn't see it. So that was sort of the first memory. I've got a few other memories as well, you know, like that. But I think, you know, when you go to school, you've got to learn all the practical stuff at school, as you should, you know. And then it left me until I was a teenager. And then I really became very interested in sort of Wiccan stuff and even the occult. I was exploring lots of different avenues, I suppose, at that time frame. Yeah. And then, you know, then what happens is you meet somebody, you fall in love, you get married, you have children, you know, and all of the normal things in life. And then it leaves you again, and then it came back, but it didn't come back with me until probably I was in my 30s when it really came back, and my spirit were going, yeah, we need to have you on the team, but from that side, not this one. So that's in a nutshell, really, where my spirit base is, where I come from spiritually. But I've always been interested in sort of fairies and unicorns and dragons and, you know, all lovely things, things like that. So yeah, and the spirit world's always fascinated me.
Yes. Oh, I think Rhonda froze. That's beautiful. I love that. It's such an amazing, you know, thing to see how each of us have been awoken to our abilities, and to have them from the beginning, you know, to be able to remember those experiences in the very beginning. That must be such a I don't know, just such an amazing experience, as well as like a wow, this has really been with me the whole time, even though you've got kind of off in your own world, distracted with raising children and having, a life, to have it come back. And how did it first come back when you were, when you were 30? Like, do you remember that experience when it was like, oh, hey, this is something that, I forgot, but here it is?
Yeah, I think I started getting visitations through dream state. And you say, oh, was it a dream? Was that a dream that just happened? So an auntie paid me a visit in dream state. I thought, oh, it's just a dream. And then what she told me in the dream actually then happened. And so I'm thinking, okay. And I was interested in the spiritual aspect, the philosophy of things. It's like, where do we go to when we die? What happens? Is this the end? Or is there something else? What does heaven mean? Is that just a name for something? What's it all about? So I started going to the spiritualist church. And we're very lucky here in England that we have a lot of spiritualist churches who have development circles as well. And so that's where I started, with a development circle at a spiritualist church, and it sort of progressed on from there to different spiritualist churches and meeting different people. But a lot of that was with Christine. Christine was my sister-in-law, and we did Rescue Mediums together in the first 3 seasons. And so a lot of I was very, very fortunate in that she was far more spiritually aware than I was. So if I had a question, she was able to answer me or say, well, I'm not really sure about that, but let's find out, So a lot of my spiritual exploration, if you like, was actually with her. So I've got a lot to be thankful for that she pointed me in the right direction.
Yeah, it really helps to have people around you that are your tribe. And also, I think it helps with your development, because I think when we're all together, we kind of amp each other up. Do you find that as well?
Yeah. Do you know what I love about what we do? Is that we never stop learning.
Yes.
I know through my students, I'm learning from the students as much as they are learning from me. And of course, they are learning from what is coming from spirit. So the energy that is coming forward, whoever we are communicating with, are they are the ones that are giving us the information to pass on, and then we learn back from them. So sometimes when we do a meditation, say a group meditation, and then we do an interpretation of the meditation, and so I'm thinking, oh gosh, now what does that mean in that meditation? What and then all of a sudden, I work with a lady called Chandra in spirit. I've worked with her for many, many, many years, and all of a sudden she'll just completely take over, and I can feel her energy is so calming. It's so, and she comes in, and then she'll go, that's what it means, and the words just seem to be there, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't believe that's just come out of my mouth, that I'm actually saying that. But of course, it's not my words, it's hers. So, it's just amazing. I never, ever fail to amaze me working with spirit, ever.
Yes. Big adventure.
Now, when you work with when you do rescue mediums, you worked with Cindy, and then you worked with who was the next girl?
I worked with Christine,
Christine,
for the first 3 seasons, and then with Alison for the last 4 seasons. Yeah. Completely different characters, and I absolutely adore working with Alison. She is so funny, and we get on so well. We've got a really, really good friendship as well as working mediums, and we take our work very, very seriously. But we know when to have fun as well. And that happens because that's who we are. We don't try to be somebody else. We don't try to be, we don't put a persona. What you see is what you get. So me talking to you now that's who I am, warts and all. That's me. And when I do a spirit rescue work, 'cause we've got a spirit rescue team here at Feather. You're in Feathers at the minute. You're in my reading room. So my partner in crime here is Steve Furlong, who is my spiritual rock. I absolutely adore him, and I've worked with him for many years. And Anne Jones, who is also part of the Spirit team. She's our detective, if you like, as well. She goes away and does all the research, just like on the show. We've got head of research, Edna Dargy, who goes away and does all the research. So Anne does the research for us here after we've done an investigation, so because it has to be authentic. Everything has to be authentic. And I've always done that right from day one, is you've got to have proof. And I think this is mediumship. You can say anything. You can say, oh, I've got Joe here and Joe's saying this, that, and the other. But if you've not got proof of that, you could be saying anything, so it's about proof and trust. When you're working with a client and you're passing a message on to a client, the client is able to say, oh yes, I can understand that. Yeah, Joe did have a hat like that. Yeah, Joe used to go fishing a lot, and yeah, his birthday was in April, but when you're working blindly with spirit rescue work, you haven't got that feedback. So you have to try and get as much information as you can. It's like period of time frame. So like, what are they wearing? What occupation did they have? Why are they in that position? Why are they haunting that place at that particular time? Is there a reason for that? So as much information as you can get, so that you can then go ahead and research it and find out the information that would back it up. Otherwise, there's no proof there. You need as much proof as you can get, and that I'm a stickler for that. I tend to waffle as well.
It also makes the spirits more human, which they are now we're human now in spiritual form. It makes them less scary, for people that don't know anything about spirits or haven't had any encounter. People fear, like we see Hollywood spirits and we're all terrified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, well, because it puts meat on the bones, so to speak. That's the thing. It makes it makes it real, rather than just this ethereal thing that walks through walls. When you start to then build the character of that person up, it then becomes tangible and then becomes real. And so I work with all of my different senses when I'm working with spirit rescue work. You'll see me doing this quite a lot, because I'm working with energy. I like to feel the energy, because I communicate through my hand chakras. I think a lot of healers obviously work in that way,
right.
Because you feel the energy in that way. And I work like that as telling me what kind of energy it is. Is it heavy energy? Is it a light energy? Is it small? Is it large? What is it? A funny energy, even, because you can tap into people's energy and you say, oh yeah, that's a bit funny, isn't it? Or you can tap into somebody's energy and you go, oh. And we do this every day as human beings. When we meet people, we tap into their energy. We just don't realize that we're doing it. So once you realize you're doing it, you can really hone in on that, and you can get a lot of information just literally by tuning into that energy. It's very helpful, especially if you're going for a job.
Well, yeah, it is. It's the vibing. It's about, this person doesn't have good vibes, this person has good vibes, and you find out which people you want to, spend more time with based on the vibrations that how it feels to be around them. It's the same thing. So, even though we're not aware we're doing it sometimes, we're always doing it.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I wanted to say something back about the hands, and Nancy's picking up on it right down there. You can see her comment. I took a class with Kaya Ra the other day, who wrote the Sophia Code books, and it was a meditation with Hathor. And so we're going in and we're meditating, we're feeling her presence and everything. And I got 2 messages from Hathor, and one of them was to leave my hands open, because like I go like this, see they're closed. She wants me to intentionally leave them open more. So I think, like you said, there's the messages coming through and senses.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think when you open yourself up to all the different ways that you can work with spirit, then it's awesome. It's not, and I say this all the time, you know, seeing is not always with the eyes, and hearing is not always with the ears. You've got to tap into that energy there. And the one of the ways I do that is I'm always, you know, I mean, I probably was Italian in a former lifetime because I talk with my hands all the time. Uh, but I'm using this. I do. I use them all the time. I do use them when I'm healing, obviously, but I also use the hand chakras to tell me what I feel. Just as I use the chakras in my feet, if I'm going on, I know if I'm on ground that has been. There's been a battle or something like that, and I'm feeling the energy through the soles of my feet. I feel it, you know, just drawing me up, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, this feels a bit, you know, the saying, you know, oh, I've just walked over someone's grave. That's how it feels when you get the goosebumps and you think, oh, what's that all about? And very often I will put my hands on the ground as well, or hover them over the
Yes.
ground, just to see, you know, what can the energy tell me, you know. And sometimes it's even just a, you know, the energy is giving me a color, and then the color has a feeling, which is, you know, I told you I was weird, I was just born like this.
It's, it's so amazing. There's so many different ways to feel energy, and to that our body can interpret it so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like our clairs, right? Like there's all sorts of different clairs, and the way we feel the energy and the way our body interprets it. In fact, we don't actually even see with our eyes. If you know that we
Yes.
our eyes bring the light in, but our brain interprets what we see.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that I think energy is the same way. I mean, I'm glad some people have those eyes where they can see energy
Yeah.
differently, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
When I
it's
don't
amazing.
physically see it in that way, you know, some mediums are extremely lucky that they can physically see spirit and describe what they're wearing and everything. And I keep I keep saying I'm doing readings when I'm preparing in the morning, ready for the readings for the day. Just show me. I want to see it, physically see. But it doesn't happen like that. And it can do when I'm doing spirit rescue work, because the vibration is a different vibration. It's a lower vibration,
Yes.
so it's heavier. Um, but most of my seeing is here, where I'm using all of my different senses to sense what they're trying to tell me. And it's the hardest thing to explain, really, unless you can experience it yourself. But I do use it in that way, and you'll very often I'll say, "Oh gosh, it's heavy in here, isn't it?" And it's like it's someone who doesn't understand what you mean. They're going, "What? It's heavy." The energy feels heavy, you know,
Yeah.
or it's like sucking the life out of you, or you get a heavy sort of feeling, concentration, and then you know that there's something else that's changed that electricity, that changed that vibration that comes through you. It's like, those electrical vibrations in my body is telling me something different, because something else has changed that structure, and you don't know. It's like, you know, with with electricity, you know, you can't see it, but if you put your finger in a socket, you know it's there, because the hairs will stand up on end. You know, it's there, and it's about knowing what that energy is feeling like. Water has a different vibration than an electrical current, for example. So you've got to rule all of those sorts of things out. When you're using a pendulum, for example, the pendulum or the dowsing rods will react to energy in many forms. So electrical energy, water energy, crystal energy. If there's a lot of crystals in the room, that can affect the energy of a pendulum. So because we are in effect like a human pendulum, it will affect us as well.
Yes.
So it's about understanding the different layers of energy and what they mean to you. So I could tell you that the, say, blue energy is, this is what blue energy is. But in actual fact, a blue energy may feel completely different to you than it does to me. And it's very much a personal thing.
Yes.
Everything that's written in all of the books that we read, they're guidelines only, because they're one person's experience of what they feel and how it should be. It's down to
Yes.
personal experience. That's my
Absolutely.
take on things.
So in your
Just
academy, because you do that, tell us a little bit about your academy. Um, do you do you help people interpret what they feel, or do you help them learn to kind of tune their frequency to what they need to tune it to, or
Yeah.
find out the stations that they have on their radio dial or something like that?
Yeah, well, we have lots of different people, different levels coming into Feathers. It's not a big building. This is the room where I do my readings. It's also the room where we do the classwork as well. So we can have about 8 people in this room, and then myself and Julie, who does the classes with me, she's in the room. So there can be maybe 8 of us, between 8 and 10 people, and Steve does a group as well, the same thing, on a different night. So we teach people how to ground, which is really, really important in any work, and you should do that whether you're working with spirit or not. Grounding and protection, so you're protecting your own energy levels, because we absorb stuff from everywhere. And then how to open all the chakras properly, how to use them, how to communicate with your spirit guide, which I really feel is important. And I know it's different in different parts of the world, where a lot of platform mediums will deliver messages, and they're not doing it with the help of a spirit guide. It's just people that are coming through from spirit and passing messages on. I like to work with guides because each one has a particular job, and I feel very, very safe in knowing that they are looking after me. They're going to make sure that I don't get in any kind of trouble, and they're with me all the time. So that's what we teach. We teach a lot of sort of guide work. We teach how you can communicate with spirit, all the different ways that you can communicate with spirit. So, it could be pendulums, it could be energy work, which is the healing energy. Scrying, whether it's scrying with water or scrying in a crystal ball. Psychometry. I love doing psychometry, when you hold the object, and because I'm a toucher, I like to touch things, it's the hands, you see. So, if I go into a building, I have to touch the wall, even if it says don't touch. Jackie goes, "Ooh, I won't touch directly, but I do need to feel," because of the vibrations that are held within old places or old objects that you can read. So psychometry is one of the things that I love to do. Meditation, obviously, is what we do every class. We do the meditation first, then we do the interpretation, and then we do the practical. So it could be cards, it could be tarot cards, angel cards, oracle cards, and of course mediumship, working with spirit energy to pass messages on, and how to do it in a safe environment. So there's lots of things we do, with the healing as well. We teach healing as well here.
That's
And past life
awesome.
regression, of course. I do past life regression, which is something else that I love, because I'm nosy, so I like to know what other people's lives
Curious.
have
You're
been.
curious.
No, I'm nosy.
Curious. Curious. That's so cool. Speaking of meditations, you were going to share maybe a little meditation or a little thing with our audience, or you were going to talk to us about that.
Oh, well, the thing is, I'm sorry, I'm just wrecking my headset here. With meditation, I like to ground before a meditation. So I'm just going to show you how I ground. It's up to you how you ground, but
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, this is how I like to do it, and I do it every day, as I say, whether I am working with spirit or not, because I need to protect my energy levels from humans, let alone from anything else, or even from my own sort of negativity. So if everybody just closes their eyes, just for a moment, just close your eyes, and I just want you to imagine that you've got a ball of energy on the inside of your head. It's about the size of a golf ball. And it's just going to move down very slowly through your head and through your neck. It doesn't matter if you don't see it or feel it. The intent is there. And we're just going to bring that down. It's moving down through your chest cavity. And when it gets to your tummy area, it's going to do something really, really magical, because it's going to act like a magnet, and it's going to draw to it any negative energy that you have been hanging on to in your aura. So anything, any negative thoughts that you may have had, you might have had a stressful day, or anything that anyone else has dumped on you or you've absorbed and you've not realized, that magnet is just going to absorb it. So we're really getting rid of anything that has been in your aura that we don't want. And then it starts to move down again. And when it gets to your pelvis, it's going to separate into 2 separate balls of energy that are going to now move down through each leg, right down to the soles of your feet. And when it gets to the soles of your feet, I want you to grow roots deep into the ground. Now that negative energy is going to turn into liquid, and it's just going to flow through those roots into the ground, and Mother Earth is just going to neutralize it. You don't have to worry about it. Mother Earth will do that for you. And the roots now are going to get stronger. We've gotten rid of everything we don't want. And so the roots are now getting stronger and stronger. And I want you now to visualize that there is a pure white positive energy that you are going to draw up straight from Mother Earth. It's coming up through the roots into the soles of your feet, and it's going to start to move up through your legs and fill your entire body with that amazing, wonderful, energetic, pure white light that is a gift from Mother Earth, and it's filling your entire body. It's going down your arms, into your hands and your fingers, moving up through your neck and into your head. So now your body is completely full of a pure white energy, and you're totally recharged. And now we need to protect that. So about 6 inches above your head, there is another ball of energy. This time it's about the size of a football. This is spinning white energy, getting bigger and brighter, and it's now moving down over your head and over your shoulders, and a pure white light now of energy wrapping itself right around you, right down to the soles of your feet. And so you are completely encased in a perfect light that will protect your energy level right throughout the day. Wiggling your fingers and your toes, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Oh,
Love that.
Beautiful.
I did have to,
Love that.
excuse me, translate at one point because you said football, and I'm like, no, British, not American, British.
Oh gosh, yes.
Soccer ball.
I know that.
A soccer ball,
was
yes,
great.
sorry about that.
At first, I'm like, no, not that shape. Shifted it, but it was really funny. That was amazing, though. Thank you. I haven't experienced it that way, grounding, and it actually was really powerful.
Yeah, I love doing that, and I do it every single day. And sometimes, if you meet, you've got a best friend, you love your best friend, but you feel drained when you say, oh gosh, they've just offloaded everything to me. I just feel drained now. Then do it again. You can do it as many times as you want. And so the more you do, the more you do that, the more you're able to. It's about controlling your own energy, really. If you feel as though your energy level is getting low for whatever reason, try doing that, because you may have been hanging on to something that you don't want, and you don't want to hold on to that. It's just like when you're healing, you don't want to hold on to the healing energy that's coming from somewhere you're healing. You don't want to take that on board yourself. Just let it go through you, through the roots into the ground. That's the way I heal anyway.
Hmm.
in that way.
That's so cool.
That was
I have a request.
beautiful. Yeah.
So now that we're grounded and protected and we're, rejuvenated, would it be possible for you to give us a quick little show and tell of how to activate our hand chakras?
Yeah, sure.
I think that'd be
Good idea,
awesome.
Bex.
As healers, when I'll tell you how I open to do my healing energy. So I imagine that my crown chakra is open because I've already opened them beforehand. But then I want to open my hand chakra. So I imagine that I've got like two little taps. I've got a tap on the middle of my hands, and I'm imagining that I'm opening these taps to allow the center. Now, as I'm doing that now, my hand chakras are tingling because I'm talking about doing it. And I think when you're healing, if you were a healer, and as soon as you start to talk about healing energy, whether it's Reiki energy or whatever, as soon as you talk about it, you'll find that they start to tingle, and you go, oh, okay, they're already opening here. But as a conscious way of opening it and then closing them afterwards, I imagine there are just little taps that I don't physically do this, but that's what I imagine is happening. And the same if, so the light comes down through my crown chakra and it travels down my arms and comes out through my hands. And that's when I'm healing. Okay. But I also use that same process when I'm measuring as well. So instead of putting it out, I'm actually drawing it in to see how different that feels. How different that feels. If you're working with, say there's a door open, behind you, and you're aware, oh gosh, that feels a bit drafty there. It feels different because you feel cold. So if you were to measure that with your hand chakra, just to get you used to how it feels, like it's warm there, oh, there's a radiator there, or it's cold there, so you know the difference. If you were to shut your eyes and use your hand chakras, you'll find that you get more information because you're not visually looking at it. It's the same with anything really, because as human beings, we have to see things or we have to hear it. But if we are without sight or we cannot hear, we use other senses. And so that's why the hand chakras are important to me, because I read through them. I read energy through them, and the energy tells me what I need to know, that is a cold spot. But that's how I do it. It's simple, really. It's like, yeah, that I always close them down after. But when you're working with them a lot all the time, you'll find that when you close your chakra points, it's like the ear chakras. Sometimes I consciously open them, but most of the time they just open with the throat chakra anyway. But if I need to fine tune something, I will focus on, sort of like that sort of shape to push it out. And then I will gauge then what kind of vibration am I hearing. So not what am I feeling, what energy am I feeling, what energy levels am I hearing. It's a case of practice, really.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Lots of practice.
You can practice on your animals as well,
games.
like with the healing energy, how you practice, you could do your healing on the animals. You can practice with the animals, knowing how they are feeling. So you're not giving them healing, you're actually gauging what's going on with them. Yeah, different way of communicating entirely.
So I have a new question for 2021. Well, a couple of new ones. Yeah, I just thought of this. They popped in my head earlier today. So I wanted to ask Jackie's favorite crystal. What's your favorite crystal?
Amethyst.
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 Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's on me too.
I love it. This is mine. That's my.
Wow, beautiful.
Amethyst. Yeah. I love all crystals, but amethyst is my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I've got lots of purple around me.
My engagement ring is an amethyst.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And when we were, it was bought in America, My husband's American, and he was prepared to pay a lot of money for diamonds and everything else. And I said to him, "No, that's not what I want. I want amethyst. I want an amethyst." And he went, "Oh, right, really?" And I went, "Yeah." He said, "Why do you want an amethyst?" I said, "Because it is one of my favorite stones. It's, it's the stone that links me to Egypt. It's the stone that links me to healing energy. It's the stone that leads me to psychic vision. There's so much with the amethyst, but it's also his birthstone." And so it just had extra punch because of that. So there you go. I've got my amethyst.
I love
Oh,
it.
lovely. Love it. I love that. My friend, yeah, I have a beautiful amethyst ring. One of my friends gave me too. I treasure it. It's one of those heirloom ones. So it's beautiful.
Fabulous.
The other question I have was, this can be yes or no, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Extraterrestrials visiting Earth, yes or no?
Yes, of course. Yes,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think the fact, I'm not going to go into that because it's a whole discussion on its own, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we are not the only planet in the universe, so therefore we are not the only life form in the universe. And when we say universal energy, it comes from the universe. So the knowledge is from more than one planet. I astral travel. And so, I like to have a little look around. Yeah, I told you I'm nosy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So sweet. Yeah, no, that's great. Great. Now it's Teresa has one more question
Okay.
for you today.
One thing before that, I just wanted to add that during the meditation, I had gotten a message and it was kind of weird. And it may have happened 2 years ago. If somebody lost a donkey, because a donkey came to me while we were meditating and explaining that it died soon after its baby was born, but the baby looked like it was maybe under a year old. And the donkey was explaining to somebody who might be out there in the audience that they left because they were coming back to be a guide for the other little donkey. And so they're explaining. I feel like it might have happened 2 years ago. I don't know, but that's what came through while we were sitting there. It's like, what are you doing here? But there was a message. But
Oh,
back to our question. Our question is as you're walking out across that stage, ready to explain to us and teach us, what song are you listening to in your ears?
what
What's your
song?
favorite? Yeah, what song comes to you about the
Oh
theme
gosh.
song of your life?
Oh, the theme song. Well, my favorite song is "And I Love Her" by the Beatles. I'm just a huge Beatles fan. And going on from that, I think in my life, which is
Oh, yes.
obviously John Lennon. Um, but Ozzy Osbourne singing, because
Oh,
I love Ozzy Osbourne's version of that song.
Oh,
I have not
really?
heard
wow.
that, but that sounds fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got to
I'll
find
have to
that.
yeah,
look that up and put it in the
That's
comments.
cool.
yeah.
I love
That's
that. And
wonderful.
for the other announcements we have, who shared out the show most last week has won a session with Bex Marie. And that is going to be so exciting because Bex, once you get Bex going, man, she is going to give you lots and lots of information in this mini reading. And who won would be Lynn Marie. So, congratulations out there to Lynn Marie. And we encourage you all to keep sharing it out. Keep sharing out our show. Go to our YouTube channel and put a like on that. And join the family. Be with us. We have so much fun. And we love to come to you every week.
Oh, Jackie, just one thing. I thought maybe you can tell viewers how to get to veryparanormal.com. They register, it's all free, and what do you offer on that?
Yeah, it is completely free. If you just type in veryparanormal.com on Facebook or the website, every single show of Rescue Mediums is available there to watch. There's also behind the scenes Rescue Mediums, the Psychic Diaries, which I do with our producer Michael Lamport. So there's lots of things. There's viewers who send in videos of their paranormal investigations. There's lots of podcasts and things on there, lots of tutorials, and you girls are joining us now on veryparanormal.com as well, so we're very, very happy about that. But yeah, there's so much there, and it's a growing community, which is what we like. It's the community portal for everything paranormal, psychic, spiritual, and if you feel as though you want to contribute something to that, if you have something you'd like to share, then make yourself a member. It's all free, and anything you watch is free. Can't ask more than that, can you, really?
Absolutely.
That's excellent. So cool. Thank you so much for inviting us to your veryparanormal.com portal.
Yes.
We love it.
And for all of our viewers who watch us on Facebook and YouTube and Parler, what's the other one? Not Parler. It's the other one.
Periscope, but I think Periscope's going away.
Yeah. Yes, but who knows what the future holds for Facebook and YouTube and all the mainstream ones. So to be able to have access to us no matter what, we'll still be on Very Paranormal, even if we have to pre-record and then post it there. So you'll always have us no matter what.
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Jackie, for joining us. We're so excited. And hopefully we'll see you again on here.
I'd love to come back. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. It's been entertaining, and I will say cheers.
Cheers.